Hello everyone, and thank you so much for joining me once again. I'm Robert here at Robert in Concert, and welcome back to my Ensemble Startup Series. I'm thrilled that you're here because that means that you want to start your own ensemble, and there's nothing better to me than when a new group connects with an audience. And so today what I want to talk about is networking, because as you may be able to hear, I've got quite the froggy voice today, because I spent 3 hours last night talking to science people basically at this networking event, talking about creativity and how we needed more creativity in other fields outside of the arts, and how we can learn lessons by looking at music and what musicians do. And it was a great experience for me. I really am terrible at networking. Usually I'm an introvert, and so I like talking to other people, but usually on a much smaller scale. I actually had to take 2 laps around the building before I could kind of build up the confidence to go in. And but once I did, I started talking to people and really kind of connecting on this discussion of creativity. And so for as kind of random as it was, even with all these science people, there are a lot of people who wholeheartedly agreed and wanted to see more efforts to kind of get scientists out of their box. And one of the arguments I made as well is that musicians can also learn from other fields, because we're all basically working in either small groups or large groups depending on the situation. String quartet, for instance, or a brass choir is not all that different from a lab. You're basically dealing with a bunch of specialists who are working together on some broader project. And so there's really a great conversation, I think, to be had there between the sciences and the arts that doesn't require them to exclude each other in any way. So I think it's really important for someone like you who is just starting your ensemble to be able to get out and talk to people. And so if you're not doing this already, go out, get some business cards. I'll put some resources in the description for that. Just have your name, maybe your phone number if you're comfortable with that, your email address, website, maybe some sort of quote you like on the back. I'll show you a picture of mine. Lots of resources out there. Just keep it simple. But the bigger thing is to go out and talk to other people. So tell other people about your ensemble and about your ideas, and see how they respond. And talk to lots of different people. You can go to specific events like networking events, for instance, or you can just talk to people on the street. I have a friend of mine who went down to the local arcade. He wanted to start a video game orchestra, and so he just handed out business cards down there. And so basically, no matter what you do, as long as you're out in the world talking to people, getting feedback for it, you'll hear all sorts of things that you didn't expect. They might have different ideas about what they want to hear, or you might be able to get an idea as to how much they'd be willing to pay for it. All sorts of things that you don't know, just coming from your own personal perspective. But then once you start talking to lots of other people, and especially other people that you don't know, really helps get a broader perspective on everything. And at the same time, there's a skill in being a salesman for what you have, because you have to take this thing, this kind of idea that's inside of you, and you have to sell it to other people. And so of course, there are all these people out there who are selling like snake oil type things, where if you're just trying to make a profit, it'll be much more difficult to convince people. But if you have a real reason, and if you really know your mission, your mission statement and your vision for what you want to do, then other people will respond to that. And it's just great practice to talk about it, because the first 50 times you do it, you will not really know what to say, and you'll just kind of fumble around, and it'll take some getting used to. But at a certain point, you'll figure out what sorts of phrases work and make sense in your head, and what makes sense to other people. And so I think this is just such a really important thing that we really don't push much in the arts field. but we need to go out and network, not just with other musicians, but with people in other fields. So anything that you might consider potential donors or potential audience members, you should be talking to them on some sort of deeper level. So in the easiest way is to just go out into public, go to an event, hand out some business cards and talk about what you're doing. So with that, thank you so much for joining. Leave a comment below. I want to hear what your networking experiences are, what ideas you have, what ensemble you're working on, and if you have any questions, let me know. I look forward to hearing from you, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.